to Peter Campbell just on that sort of related topic. And there's a question before the meeting just relating to the medical centre, and it's kind of in the same ballpark of sort of programmes. If I can hand over to you, Peter.
Yeah, hi, I'm Peter Campbell, the head of housing. So the question is about when health facilities, GP surgeries will be provided. So just start off the basics. In the new developments of this size, many facilities are provided what are called Section 106 agreements. So these agreements between the planning authority and the developer, and the developer is obliged to provide new or additional services when existing services can't cope and need new capacity, or additional services needed. And health facilities are included within sort of services that can be provided. So within Northstowe, the CCG, the Clinical Commissioning Group, which was then the Cambridge Primary Care Trust, were consulted about the need for medical services. And they felt that initially that by increasing existing provision at Long-Stanton surgery, they could meet the need for medical services that arose from the initial stage. However, they identified that there will be a need for a new medical centre as phase 3 is built out, and this will also serve the later phase in Northstowe. So there's a plan for a surgery to be built as part of the Civic Hub, which will be located in town centre. Now, the Civic Hub is going to be the big landmark building in the town centre. And we recognise a lot of work needed to do meeting to drive this forward. However, since then, COVID hit, and many of the people who've been involved got dragged off in other priorities. As you can imagine, the CCG, the health services, the county council, etc., all had other priorities, and the project, as a consequence, has lagged. We are in the process of trying to arrange a relaunch, a reboot of the project with the main stakeholders, and we're working on the basis that we will work up the designs of the Civic Hub and hope to submit planning application around March 22, so about a year away. And in terms of timescale, it's unlikely that the Civic Hub will be ready before early 24. In the meantime, I'll continue to work closely with the CCG and others to make sure that they will go back to the services. But we have to be realistic and recognise that some of the adjoining surgeries, also the nearby surgeries, could reach capacity before the Civic Hub is fully occupied and complete. Thank you.
Peter, I don't know if you feel you're best placed or someone else on the panel just to answer a related question here. Obviously, it's not directly, it's Northstowe, but slightly it's Long-Stanton. So a comment on long waits at Long-Stanton GP practice at the moment. Can we ask Long-Stanton practice to open? In fact, the answer's just gone across. Open in the afternoons to improve the situation, please.
Well, certainly we can ask that question, but just some background that I'm aware of for practices in general is that recently, particularly since the end of the pandemic, there has been generally an increase in demand for people to see GPs. Presumably some of this is things that people have put off during the pandemic, during lockdown, and there's been an increase in requests for referrals, and certainly a massive increase in people seeking help with mental health issues. A national issue rather than one that's just restricted to local surgeries. So it may well be the best thing is to let that die down, to see what, if the real impact it is Northstowe, or just a consequence of what's happening in the wider world.